And from the floor of Poly Pavilion, I'm Vane Lopes alongside Jonathan Bates as we're here to break down all the action that was in the two matches that took place today in the NCAA Tournament opening round as Hawaii and UCLA both advanced to the semifinals. Jonathan, I think that the Hawaii-North Greenville match kind of played out as we expected. Hawaii took care of business. So let's spend a good chunk of this segment talking about the UCLA-Pepperdine match. We knew going into this that Pepperdine, UCLA were deep rosters. UCLA showed that depth tonight. 12 players going on out there, stepping up, and Berge, oh my gosh, Sam Berge, out of nowhere, played 2 matches in the regular season, has a lights-out performance. For me, that was the storyline of the night, the depth that UCLA was able to bring, and that's why they were able to get the win. What was your takeaway?
So you're Mr. Positive, I'm Mr. Negative, so I'll go with the negative storyline for me, and that was Pepperdine. Their opposites had 13 kills, 12 errors on 37 attempts. That is not going to get it done in a championship match.
Well, you're exactly, and luckily it wasn't the championship match, opening round match. But,
sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I agree. And that was probably the big question that we had for them. It was surprising for me. Jalen Jasper gets subbed out, Steele goes in, 13 kills. You're exactly right. 12 errors for those two combined. That was the big thing. And talk about the great night though that they had. Those Spencer Wickens hit 400 plus, 15 kills. A great performance for him. And then on the other side of the net, I mean, talk about Kevin Coburn, 16 kills on the night, 500. Just a solid all-around performance from UCLA. Once again, offensively, and Miles Pertan showing why he's one of the top setters in the nation.
I would argue that, and John Sproul would be the first one to say this too, that UCLA did not play to their potential, and yet they clearly looked like they were the best team on the court against Pepperdine. I expect them to clean it up. They had played only one match in 17 days, so maybe a little bit rusty, but again, that depth overcomes so many errors for them, so many shortcomings for them tonight, and I really am going to be very interested to see what they do on Thursday against Long Beach State.
Yeah. And scary thing for UCLA when you're thinking about going up against Long Beach State, UCLA hits more than 300 in the match. They only commit 2 attack errors combined in the final 2 games. And their Mills didn't have super great nights.
No.
And that's the scary thing if you're talking about UCLA, the way that they're able to beat you, an ensemble cast. That's going to be a fun matchup against Long Beach State. We know the other semifinal matchup as well. That's going to be Ball State Chirp Chirp going up against the Rainbow Warriors, #WarriorBall 2022. So, Jonathan, I think we saw out there on the court tonight, they took care of business against North Greenville, hit more than 400. Great story for North Greenville, just making it this far, but kind of played out as we thought it would. What was your biggest takeaway from that match tonight for a Hawaii team that really went for the jugular early and took care of business?
I thought they might be a little bit rusty, or maybe North Greenville would have the advantage because they played on Sunday, but clearly from the get-go, everybody said they had a run and they just put them away. And that's what you want to do when you're a dominant team, that you're playing against a team that is perceived to be a lesser team. You don't want to give them any hope, and Hawaii didn't give them any hope. They put them away, took care of business. They used their strong serving. Tella is now has the record for service aces in the season. I think flash forward to Thursday against Ball State. Ball State will need to put Hawaii in lots of bad situations in terms of service save. We know Quinn Isaacson can do that. We need to see more from Caleb Chenis in that regard and other players just to get them out of the system.
Well, that's going to be the big question for Thursday night as we progress here in the NCAA Tournament. Before we go, I do have to say once again, hats off North Greenville. Once again, wasn't your night tonight, but first Conference Carolina team to ever win an NCAA Tournament match, advance this far in the NCAA Tournament. This is going to be a team years from now that the Conference Carolinas are going to want. Remember, hey, that's what you want as a program. Make it the NCAA Tournament and be remembered, and North Greenville did that. Well, we're going to find out what other teams are remembered as we continue on throughout this NCAA Tournament, and you're going to want to stay here at offtheblogblog.com for all your men's volleyball coverage.